friends, how are you today? Thank you so much for being with me this morning, or any time of day that you're watching. It's morning for me, and I have a specific direction I want to go with this video, with this look. I'm thinking sultry summer bronze goddess kind of look. I want to go rich on the eyes. I was looking through, just like going through the thumbnails and the whole list of videos I've done recently, and I thought, you know what's missing? Something really intense. I want to go there. I want to go glam for this one, okay? And it's really going to carry over to every part of the look. The skin, I seek to make it glowy, bronzy. I still want really nice coverage on it. For the eyes, I want it to be fairly rich. I do want some sheen, but I really want richness on there. And then I haven't quite chosen yet what I'm going to do on the lips, but we're going to start off with our Lumi Lotion in the Deep Glow shade. So this is what you want to reach for when you're really intending to go for a very bronzy look on the skin. So I'm going to get that all blended in. You can just immediately see the glow and the tint that this has. Really pretty on the skin. In comparison to like the Maybelline Perfector 4-in-1 thing, I feel like that's thinner than this. This adds a little more moisture to the skin. A little bronziness too, in a sheer way. And then for foundation, I was thinking about the IT Cosmetics CC Plus Nude Glow. This is in the shade Light. It does have SPF 40 in it, just to kind of support that glowy look we're going after. I'm going to use about a full pump of this and just dab it on the skin. Yesterday we went to the nearby fair that was happening, and it was so much fun. My kids love rides, and I think this is the first time Bubba has been able to get on anything and just really ride it, you know. His favorite was the carousel, and I was standing right there by him, and I was kind of like supporting him on it because I just wasn't sure how well he would hold on. There's no strap on the carousel, and he didn't really want me to touch him, but yeah, he wanted to chill with one arm waving out in the air, so I definitely did hold on. This is looking really pretty. I hadn't worn this one in a while. I'm kind of on my rediscovery tour of the things in my tinted moisturizer section. And yeah, this is a good one. I don't know that I've ever put it on top of a glowy primer as well, but yeah, extra dewy. So I like that. I want that for my all over base, and then I am gonna want some real coverage on the under eye too. I'm going to pull in my NYX Bear With Me. This one blends so well when you're doing like kind of a glowy skin look. I feel like it just meshes really nicely in with everything. This I wear in the shade Light. It's called Concealer Serum. Really good stuff, really thin, has good coverage. You find that like you get a little pump of that out, and then there's still so much product to be used. So a little goes a long way. I can pretty much use that entire pump anywhere I'd want to use some concealer on the face today. But I got my corn dog fix as well last night. The only problem is like it's so hot at stuff like that, and there needs to be more shade. But I just absolutely love watching their little faces light up when they're on these rides. They're just living. See what I mean about that concealer really being the very same texture and finish as this other glowy stuff I had on my skin? Like I now have coverage in the places I want it, but it doesn't even look like I put on a separate product to get there. That pretty much lays out the way I feel about the NYX Bear With Me. I think we're blended enough, and I will be setting that. I'm pulling out again my e.l.f. Halo Glow in the light pink, and we're gonna pick some of that up with just a little triangle puff. I got out of there without a funnel cake though, and that was the problem. There were plenty of funnel cake opportunities and just not enough hands. So I've pressed it in. I don't feel like it's 100% mattified me. Obviously I have some like kind of semi-bake to dust away here. If you really want to be practical about things and you want this look to last, I feel like I need a little setting powder. There we go. Under eyes look really bright and nice. Here's where we're really going in for it, my friends. We start contouring, we start bronzing up, and doing the whole blush plan that I have today. So I'm taking my Sahara stick from Persona. So I've been using Dune a lot lately. This is a little deeper, okay? This was the first one I had, and I always, you know, made this work even during fairer times. But I just really want to establish some contrast, I guess. So I'm blending that in with my Sephora 56. And see how we're getting just some nice bronze glow. It's funny when I look at the skin tones of my kids because Belle and Eve both, they kind of have more my skin tone. They'll get a tan going kind of quickly. I'm not sure if I've hardly ever, maybe one time, seen one of them with a sunburn. I'm not even certain if they've ever actually burned. Bubba has more like Bub's skin tone, but the odd thing is that he's not really having a tendency to burn either. He looks more rosy after he's been out in the sun for a little bit, and it's mainly in his cheeks. But then that kind of fades. Like after we go inside, it's not like oh, he's burnt. And I can tell Bubba's skin just doesn't really take on that dark tan like the girls do. I'm not really trying to have anybody have a dark tan, but it's just kids spend a lot of time outside this time of year, and like they've been out a ton during recesses at school. Really was where it all started, because they'd come home and I'd be like, dang, Bitty, you know, you're getting a tan going on. And they just had some very outdoorsy days there toward the end of the year. But yeah, the sunscreen we use, I've been using one from Supergoop called Play, and that's really quick and easy to get on the girls. I'm not a fan. Ever since an experience I had burning in Destin with spray sunscreens, I don't think I've purchased another spray sunscreen since. So I have a Supergoop kind that's called Play. It's like SPF 50, and it's really thin, and it feels about like the consistency of the Supergoop stuff I put on my face, the every single face one and the round packaging. It's so thin and light, like I can get it on them just in a snap. So I'll use that on Bubba too, but also sometimes with him, I like the Aveeno Baby on the face. You don't burn with Aveeno Baby on, you just don't. But it does take more work to blend in. It has that kind of whitish look. You have to work it in a little bit harder. That's sunscreen chat, and suddenly we are contoured here. Okay, we've got that contour, but that's not where the bronziness ends, because I was planning to come in with my L'Oreal Lumi Bronze It. I talked about this in the last video in that deep shade. It's got a beautiful sheen, and we're gonna be taking that like up around the hairline, getting it all worked in beautifully here. Look at that. I love that this does give a little bit of glow, and the tone is so nice and kind of cool. Not one of your orangey looking bronzers by any means. And what I'm doing is I'm going straight over those places where I put the Persona stick, and then I'm kind of letting this one come up a little bit more, like up on top of the cheeks. And then down the neck. Continuing to take it down here a bit as well, shoulders too. Now for blush, I'm going to do a couple things. I'm going to take Teddy from Persona, which I always feel like has a pretty kind of earthy look. Look how it does have some depth. It really always looks like it belongs when you get it blended in. There is a little rosiness in it, but I'm just going to tap that in. And then I was planning to put Benefit Terra on as well. Look how nicely this works into our bronzy kind of color scheme there. A little toasty blush. And then since Benefit like re-released all those different shades of boxed blushes, Terra has really been my favorite, and it's nice and toasty as well. So here's that. I love the little box. There is a tiny goat on the box. I always point that out. Don't want that to get past anyone. This does have a little glow as well. It's not going to show profoundly as we shear this shade out on our cheeks, but there's kind of like a brick red, reddish quality in this. Oh, it's so just toasted and nice and just perfect for the look we're going for today. And I'm trying to keep it sort of high. And now anything that might remain, I'm like letting that just dance across the nose there too. Then what about highlighter? I'm gonna go to my LYS. This is the Aim High pressed highlighter powder in Brave. It's a champagne color. I don't want to go too dark, otherwise, like just because you're thinking, oh, I'm doing bronze today, I'm gonna put on a bronze highlight, then it may not really have the light catching quality you want a highlighter to have anymore if it's too dark for your skin tone. So just think about what skin tone you are and whether or not you could pull off bronze or gold or something more like this champagne. I'm just kind of dabbing it on with that Real Techniques setting brush. Get a little up here too. Glowing everywhere and a little on the Cupid's bow. Today I'm going to take some Fix Plus. Just give myself a few mists of that. Love the smell of Fix Plus. I just dab over a couple areas with whatever remains on this little puff right here. Sometimes that's enough, but skin is looking really nice. Very fresh, but definitely working that bronze thing. Got that blush going on. Now we just need some brows, which I really didn't put too much thought into today. We'll do this little e.l.f. Ultra Precise Brow in the shade Cool Brown, I believe it is. Yep. See, I'm liking that skin, and my skin is not unbelievably tan right now, but I've taken what I've got, and I feel like I've kind of worked it up in sort of a realistic way. But yeah, in the SPF conversation, I really, for my face every day, I use sunscreen as my last step. And even, you know, same goes for in the dead of winter, I'm still doing this. And I've used up one of those Supergoop every single face sunscreens with SPF 50. And I'm on to my second one. Bought that for my mom as well. She was looking for something that she could wear under makeup that wasn't going to really disturb her process, you know, and I said, well, this one's really thin, and she agreed. It went on really nicely compared to, I think, some of the other random sunscreens she was just trying to put on. I'd love to know if you have a good, like, ultra thin facial sunscreen from the drugstore that you like, that you feel like goes on and it just kind of sinks in with ease, doesn't cause other products to have problems over top of it. Let me know. Also, yesterday before we went out, I don't know if this helped me at all, but I sprayed on some of my Milani Make It Last with the SPF in it. That's kind of a neat product too, and one of you guys said you just like keep that as a purse item over the summer to just refresh your SPF a little bit. And I thought, well, that's pretty cool. I'm not sitting over here thinking that's as effective of an SPF as like a freshly applied, squeezed from the tube and slathered all over thing. But, you know, if we're trying to maintain a makeup look, maybe, I think that's a neat product. And then there's also those little SPF powders that you've probably seen. I think Supergoop made one where it like the powder pushes up through the bottom and you can like put that over top. I'm gonna use a little bit of my Teddy Brow from Hard Candy. This is brunette, I believe. Just kind of tipping up those brow hairs there in the center part and letting the rest just lay as it naturally wants to. This is going to be fun. This is my Milani eyeshadow primer, of course. We're starting there, getting things prepped. And like we said, I want a rich eye. I want a rich, sultry, summertime eye. I think the vast majority of summer looks that I run across are like light and airy and pretty and nice, and that's good and all, but what about the dark side? What about the dark side of summer looks? Okay, so I pulled out something I have not used in a while. And guys, I was eyeing Pat McGrath palettes on Sephora's website, like really heavily thinking about one or two that I saw. And I thought, you know, let's pull out Bronze Seduction. Yep. This one is gorgeous. Gorgeous. We're going to use that today. We have some real dazzling shades in here, but we're going to start by setting things up. And I'm going to use this shade right here in my crease. I feel like that's what she's there for. This is just such a beautiful palette, such a luxurious, weighty palette. Okay, so this is just getting some shadow there in the creasal region. Nice medium brown, very classic. Ew, even that, like, we just did that skin and we just do a little crease and it looks good. Okay, here's what we're working with now. Not only did we hit the crease, and I should clarify this more often, but we're going above it too. If you've got some space between crease and brow, let's kind of take hold of that. Let it really rise up to where you feel like it's just about to trail off before the brow comes along, okay? Then we want darkness. We do want this to be an overall dark look. We might have a little gleam going on, but I want some depth. So I'm gonna go into first what I think is the darkest shade in here. It's gotta be this plum over here, right? So I'm gonna take that with my flat brush, lay that down on the lid, and we're gonna do about half the lid with this really dark plum, okay? Patting on the lid, letting the tip of that brush come up and touch the crease. There we go. It's just so pigmented. It's so immediate on the eyes, you know? But yet I'm not kicking up fallout or anything. It's just the magic of Pat McGrath, I guess. Look at that. Really coming in. Then I want to come inward a little bit more with the brown. Okay, a little brown. Come in some more. It's still looking dark, I know. It's really just meshing right in with that purple, isn't it? Now we really start to work with what's just been applied. I'm going to take my small pointed brush. There's nothing on it. I'm just going to see what that I've placed up there to the crease can kind of move around, can shift a little bit, can sort of smoke up outside of exactly where it was placed. Okay? And if you feel like, yeah, I'm doing it to a point, but there's really not much movement, go back and get a little bit of one of these. Let's get the brown. And let's tuck it right in that crease. And then let's watch it kind of rise out. Then you kind of have to start thinking, how shaped do I want this look? I don't think I really want to whoosh it out like the Nike swoosh off of my eye, but I do think I want it to kind of take up this natural space that I have. Really liking the way that's looking, wanting that most concentrated color to be on the lid, and then wanting this brown, which I just picked up a little bit over here, and now letting that brown kind of be the factor that helps it lighten up a little bit as it reaches outward. Then I bring in the first crease brush we used, and that's really blending, softening any edges. Ooh, I'm liking where this is at right now. If I dark enough in that crease, purple needs to really be in there, in that crease, okay? Touch the crease with the tip of whatever flat brush or applicator tool you're using. There we go. With certain looks, you kind of got to be picky with yourself a little bit. You got to say, did I do that the way I said I was going to do that? Let's look at the haze. Is it hazy enough? Do we want even more just kind of drifting out? If you want more, go back to that first shade. See, we have just been in a little matte triangle here. I went back to the first shade because I said I want to keep seeing that beautiful haze. Yes, Pat. And at this point in time, if you have dark plum, if you have dark matte brown, and you have a medium brown, and you don't have this palette, but you have those shades, like, you have this look, okay? And now we're thinking about adding in that glow. And I'm looking at you, bronze, right here, okay? Picking some of that up with a small flat pointed brush. This is from Morphe. I always link to the brushes I use down below in order. And this is just kind of coming in like a little starburst, you know, like it's just glazing, but also diffusing as it comes across. My thought was it's most intense in here and it diffuses out. I think it's fun that Pat put in a plum, really, in this palette, because it really does play beautifully with some of these other shades. There we go, just, again, most concentration in here and let it ride. And again, you don't have to have this exact shimmery bronze to pull this off either. Look around. Oh, that's so pretty and just really satisfying. Really make sure it's pressed in. That's nice. Let's take a little bit of this. I haven't used this shade in a while, but might provide a little brightness right in here. Right in there, yep. A little light. And then I had another thought about the red. Picking up a little bit of that with wispy white. And like, I think that could bring a little heat out here in the most subtle way. Like if we just pick up a little bit of that, and it is a shimmer, okay? Like a metallic. But look at that. Like just letting a little bit of that rustiness come up out of it. Ooh, good decision. Right out in here. I'm feeling it. It just gave a little heat back. And then we are not just going to leave this a bare lower lash line today. It's going to get dark. I've been trying not to do too much on my lower inner rim, but it's coming in today. First off, I'm going to line my upper lash line. I'm going to use this Wet n Wild breakup proof, waterproof, retractable liner in the black brown shade. It's going to be dark. It's going to have the potential to look a little more smoky than black, I think. Oh, she's struggling a little bit to go over that gold. Sorry, hun. But I also did notice just now, looking up close there is a little fallout from that gold. Gold's a bit of a diva. So again, this dark black brownish liner, trying to get a little traction going through that. I'm going to tight line a little bit, so like up under here, get it real nice and dark, and we're going to line lower inner rim with this. Sometimes some shades take 2 passes to really lay down. Okay, lower lash line, hit it. I'm taking this and I'm just working it, just like agitating it a little bit there between the lower lashes so it really gets in deep. I'm pleased with what the liner has done right now. And now we're going to add shadow to smoke it up. I'm going to take the small pointed brush. I'm going to go into that brown and just go over that lower lash line. Where you put your brush first is where the most product goes. So I have the most right there on the outside, so then it can be less and less as it goes in, but still something everywhere. Fairly bold. And I'm popping a lash on this look as well. Mystique, intrigue, yes. If you feel like you need any added richness there above the eye, now that you're seeing the whole eye kind of enclosed, I would go back to that plum and just kind of like work in a little bit more if need be. Sometimes you just need to see where the land lays to know where you need more depth and richness. Or maybe you want a little more splash of that red, or maybe you lost some gold as you were trying to line your upper lash line. Make the adjustments. And it doesn't need to be according to what I like. Think about the way you like it. Okay? My look is merely an example. Woo. Yes. And then something I would do, I take a little brush like this. This is from ColourPop, but you know, any brush that maybe you thought it was meant to be an eyeshadow brush, but it was just a little too chunky for that. Go into any kind of powder. Maybe it's Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless, maybe just anything. Here I have some Kosas Cloud Set in Airy just right by me. And I'm going under this eye with a little bit of that. And that, honestly, taking this little step, there's not much powder on my brush, but it helps the staying power. It really does. As oils start to move and drift and stuff, this is helpful. I'm going to pop on some mascara, top and bottom. It's going to be, oh, hi, sweetie. Biscuit, you've returned to your area. It's okay. We'll even adjust the shot so you can fit in it better. Anyways, we're doing mascara. Exhibitionist, Stretch and Strengthen on top, and Cali Ray Come Hell or High Water on the bottom. Following that, I will pop on a lash because I'm really committing to the drama. And then we'll figure out the lip. We might bronze all over even a little bit more. Just see. Now she's on the makeup fridge. Oh, I just love this mascara. Really a great rediscovered moment from that Shop My Stash video. I could be satisfied with this look without lashes for sure. So I like that mascara. Here's how it's shaping up so far. Oh, love it. But again, I've said it several times this video, but the neat thing is you don't need that exact palette, okay? There are some really fun, unique shades in there. I mean, it is great quality, but if you're just seeing this eye and thinking, I want that eye, you probably have it. Find your most kind of glittering bronze Mix it in with some pretty basic mattes. A little bit of a very sheer reddish shade on the outside. Callie Ray, she's gonna go on maybe a little thicker than usual. Did any of you guys see the short where Bub narrated Get Ready With Me? Like just a real quick 1-minute one. It was fun. What I did, I just shot the video, edited it down, and then just in the TikTok app, I opened up voiceover. I'm like, Bub, this is gonna play. I want you to talk while it plays. Try to fill the gaps, you know. You did it pretty well. Nice, thick lower lash. Okay, I'm gonna pop on a false lash and I'll be right back. Here's where we're at with that eye. I also added a little more lower lash mascara once seeing this lash get on. It looks like a fuller demi-wispy, a little bit longer, a little bit thicker. I think the style might be called like Pompadour or something from Kiss. But yeah, I've got that on. I've got that dark kind of sultry smokiness going. For the lips, here's where we're gonna begin. I'm gonna put on my Hard Candy Instapout lip liner. This is the shade called Kiss and Tell. So it's kind of a warm, rich nude. Love the glide of these lip liners, but they have amazing staying power. Filling it in entirely, and you can use the little brush end if you want to like kind of shear it out or just blend it around better. Love that option. Then I was thinking, let's put a little Beige Eden from the Glow Paradise line right on top. I don't want to nude it out too much, but I want the lips to be a little softer. And then I pulled this as a possible option because I love Rosy Bronze from the Milani Keep It Full line. What would happen if we just put a gentle glaze? A light amount of that shine. Oh, I'm loving this combo. I'm working off the side of the applicator because I'm really not wanting to get too much, but that's a pretty lip. What are we thinking now? Feel glowing. I feel bronzy. What I might do now is just take an overall matte bronzer here and just kind of continue to give my skin a little boost. Self-tanning works as well, but we're working kind of head and shoulders here and just trying to make it all make sense. You could even get a little bit on your brush, dust over. This is a matte bronzer now, so if you see any areas that were like up on the temples and you're like, I'd like to dial it back a little bit, but don't really want to put a chalky powder there, use a matte bronzer. Really pleased with the products used today. You know, that IT Cosmetics Nude Glow made a very pretty base. Love pulling in Terra Blush, Sahara Bronzer as well. Look, the hair's gonna come down and it's all gonna come together. And you know, I'm in some pretty bright lighting here, but I feel like, as I see myself in my own mirror, I feel pretty bronzy, y'all. So thank you all so much for watching. If you have any certain looks that you'd like to see played out in a video, let me know, and I will see you all again very soon. I love you. Bye.